we've been seeing, what is the energy problem? No electricity means no development. It doesn't really, lack of electricity, lack of energy access means limited coverage to modern healthcare, modern education, livelihoods, business opportunities, banking systems, and so on. So there is such a nice nuanced interconnection between energy and development, and energy plays a big role in terms of just bringing in that overall development piece. What we are looking at is still about 850 million people lack access to formal electricity and energy systems. And in spite of everything that we are doing, still about 650 odd million population would still be lacking on the electricity access, energy access side of things. Now, this presents a big opportunity for distributed renewable energy. This does marry the goals of providing energy access for all and having this fight against climate change being one. Distributed RE is that sweet spot where we are still able to address long-term climate mitigation goals and still provide access to energy to a large number of population. Now, this does blend in all the different sustainable goals, the clean energy one and the poverty reduction for sure, but it also mutually reinforces actions that could be taken. Now, what does it mean for the Indian context? Right now, it just contributes to about 5% of the overall renewable energy space in the country, just 1%, less than 1% of installed capacity. Now, our vision is how can we grow this capacity? How can we reduce the energy access gap and increase that 1% to say a 15% in the near term, because there is a lot of promise. And we feel that in future, the challenges that are currently marring the adoption of distributed RE can be taken care of with smarter tech and innovation-oriented measures. So one of the challenges, what we were really seeing on ground is how do you quantify the energy savings? How do you quantify performance standards? How do you really blend in the demand and supply concentrations, characterize demand properly, and then map out the supply side interventions accordingly? And we do feel that there are solutions that now exist, and this is only going to proliferate in future. What necessarily is required is how do we use those tools that are available to think about some of these challenges. Now, a few examples here is, do we really need to understand that when it comes to distributed RE and when it comes to servicing the needs of the rural, off-grid connected population, do we really need to redesign our appliances in a particular manner? Do we really need, say, a 1-ton air conditioner or a 6-liter washing machine, or does it need to be scaled down in terms of their service needs for a very different kind of population? When we talk about productive use, what kind of applications can be uncovered? Can we use solar for deploying most advanced cold chain solutions, or enabling the handloom industry, for example, or cottage industry to modernize their manufacturing and their processes? There are organizations, there are institutes that really look at satellite-based imagery to pinpoint the gaps in energy access, and also down where is the availability of biomass, and use that for biomass-based distributed RE systems. Look at places where you could really service the demand through solar rooftop-based applications and so on. So how do you really use the Internet of Things and satellite-based approaches to solve some of these access challenges. And this can also unlock financing and bring in innovative investment models, which currently seems to be a roadblock for distributed RE penetration. Now, when we are able to map performance standards of appliances and look at Internet of Things to give real-time consumption numbers and go towards smarter metering and monitoring approaches, this does definitely unlock the ESCO-based models, pay-as-you-save models, negating the need for upfront investment opportunities. So that's the access piece, where the future that we look for is really bright. We would definitely see a higher contribution, scaling up from a current 1% to as high as 15% in the near term, and really service that demand. When it comes to productive use, the biggest application is in the cottage industry, the farming, and the agri and food system value chains. And I did speak about cold chains. Most of our harvest, a huge amount of our harvest is being lost because of lack of adequate storage facilities or processing facilities. When it comes to developed economies, about 90% of their farm produce is processed at site. And this extends the life of the food products and agro products that comes in. But in India, it is less than 15%. We are not processing as much food, and also the post-harvest loss are as high as 60%, and DRE can come in, and that's the future where we really look at how do we bring in that thing where there could be fruit processing, vegetable processing, spices, all the other cottage industries coming in, and really driving that productive use applications in this space. On the industrial side of it, again, the DRE, keeping in line with its core promise about bringing in energy justice, bringing in climate justice, and really enabling access of energy to the most marginalized, most vulnerable set of folks in the industrial space. It's the MSMEs that would benefit the most. Most of our MSMEs rely on a combination of fuels and energy for their day-to-day operations. 97% of MSMEs, especially in the rural and off-grid segments, rely on carbon-intensive fossil fuels like coal and diesel for their day-to-day production needs. And also the irregular supply of grid till date for MSMEs call in about 50% of those MSMEs burning diesel in inefficient generators so that they are able to keep their wheels clogging. Now this amounts to about 30% of the overall costs that MSMEs are incurring on a regular basis. Now imagine the inefficiencies there and the bigger opportunity for DRE to come in and address that large piece of work. If we have to move from increased dependencies of MSMEs, about half of MSMEs dependencies on the diesel generators, if we have to move them away, then there is no other approach than the DRE-based systems. And this is where the Indian MSMEs would become more competitive and cost-effective and environment-friendly and low-carbon if we are able to identify those decentralized solutions for them, which really bring DRE to the fore rather than the diesel generators. So across the board, that's our vision, where we really see newer, smarter, innovative tech-based solutions coming in towards increasing access, and this access would be increased by characterizing demand properly, by mapping supply and demand with satellite-based, IoT-based solutions, bringing in finance with smarter monitoring and better mechanisms to look at payback options, look at it from a productive use of RE and really step up our agri, food, and rural value chains, and then help MSMEs to transition towards a greener, cleaner recovery, reducing their diesel dependencies and DG set dependencies, and really bringing in more competitiveness and efficiencies there. So that's the future. And we do see this scaling rapidly from a current 1% to as high as 15% in the near term.